In this lesson, we're looking at triangle inequality. So, triangle inequality theorem says that a triangle exists if the sum of the two smaller sides is larger than the third side. So, so sometimes we get three numbers, we just assume it makes a triangle, but that's not always the case. So what has to happen is the sum of the two smaller sides has to be larger than the third side. So let's look at a test that we can do. So determine if these lengths could form a triangle. Well, we take the two smaller sides. So what we're going to do is we're going to say 8 plus 17, and we want to see, is this bigger? It has to be bigger than our third side, is 24. Okay? Now, 8 plus 17, that's going to give us 25. Let's erase this little mark here. Whoops. And then we see that 25 is greater than 24. Whoops. Than 24. So therefore, yes, we say this is a triangle. Okay? Let's look at the next one here. We got 3, 3, and 7 are largest is 7, so if we check to see, does 3 plus 3, is that going to be greater than 7? So that becomes 6, greater than 7. The answer, that is not true. Okay, so we say this is no. All right, so try the next two here. Pause your video now and come back and check your answer when you're done. All right, so hopefully you saw that both of these here were triangles here. So we're going to take our two smaller. So we got 25 plus 12. We want to see, is this greater than 35? Add these together, we get 37 greater than 35. So the answer would be yes. Okay, so look at the next one here. We take the two smaller here. So that's going to be 37 plus 42. We're going to see if this is going to be bigger than 52. So add them together, that's going to give us, we can tell real quick, this is going to give us 79, which is much larger than 52. So this one here was yes as well. Okay, so try the next four. Pause your video, come back and check your answers when you're done. All right, so let's see here. We got a couple no's and a couple yeses. Let's see where those ended up. So we take 28 plus 22. We're going to see, is it bigger than 50? Well, that's going to give us 50 exactly. Is that greater than? No, it's not. So the answer would be no. There's not an equal to, so it will not be. It will not make a triangle. Cannot be the same. So if we have 6, 18, and 4 here, okay, we do 6 plus 14. We're going to see, is this bigger than 18? Well, that's going to give us 20, bigger than 18. So the answer to this one is going to be yes. Next one, we're going to take 12 plus 11, see if this is greater than 24. 23, not greater, so this one's going to be no. And then we have 7 plus 35 is equal to 40, or not equal to. We'll see if it's greater than 41. So we add these together here. That's 42 greater than 4. So that's going to be, this would be 41. The answer is going to be yes. All right, so we got no, yes, no, yes. Now, let's look at this next part. So it says, this is something you want to write down. Finding a third side range. So if you're looking for the range for it, you're going to let x equal the third side. Okay? Now what this means is that A is going to be less than x, which is less than b. So this is how we're going to find our range of possibilities for our third side if we're given two sides. So the A is our difference. So we're going to subtract our values. The B is our sum when we add them. So we're going to subtract and then we're going to add to get our third side. Okay, so our third side is somewhere between these two here. So that's how we get our A values when we subtract, our B values when we add. So let's take a look at how this works. So what we're going to do is we're going to take first of all, we're going to find our A value. So A is going to be found by subtracting. So 22 minus 14 gives us 8. And then when we add, for our B, this is where we add them, so we're going to get 14 plus 22 and that's going to give us 36. So what we say is that 8 is less than x, which is less than 36. Whoops. So that means our number, our third side, is going to be somewhere between 8 and 36 to make this a true statement. This is not saying it's our longest side, it's just our third side, which means that if it's 9 and 14, would you add together and you get bigger than 22? So those would be smaller than 22. Add them together, get bigger than 22. So we come up here to 36. If we go down 135 to 35, you could add 14 and 22 together to get 36, and that would be bigger than 35, so it would make a triangle. So our answer here is going to be this. So let's try this again. Let's make sure we understand it here. We're going to do, for part A, for the A part, the first part of our inequality, our compound inequality, we're going to subtract. So 31 minus 28 is equal to 3. And our B is where we add them together, 31 plus 28. Okay. And that's going to give us 59. So our inequality we read like 3 is less than x, which is less than 59. So hopefully that makes a little more sense. So let's try the next one. Okay. We got 3 and 11, so we're going to find our A. We're going to do 11 minus 3, which is 8. And for B, we're going to add them together. 11 plus 3 is equal to 14. So 8 is less than x, which is less than 14. All right, let's try the next one. So we're going to find part A. We're going to subtract 45 minus 19. And for B, we're going to add 45 plus 19. So as we add these values up and subtract here, we're going to get 26, and we're going to get 64. So that means that 26 is less than x, which is less than 64. All right, you guys try the last two. Try 13 and 14. So pause the video and come back and check your answer when you're done. Well, hopefully you're able to get 17 is less than x, which is less than 31. And then for this one here, you're going to get, number 14, you're going to get 9 is less than x, which is less than 25. So let's see where we got those numbers. For A, we're subtracting 24 minus 7. Okay, that's going to be 17. And B, we're going to get add 24 plus 7, which is going to give us 31. Okay, for 8, for part A here, we're going to subtract 17 minus 8. It's going to be 9. And for part B, we're going to get 8 plus 17, which is going to be 25. So those are our boundaries for that. All right, so let's do this number 15 here. It says, if a triangle has length of 15 feet and 27 feet, check all the possibilities for the third side. So we're going to apply that last one. We're going to find our lower and upper bound here. So we're going to do A is equal to, okay, this is going to be where we subtract 27 minus 15, which is going to give us 12. And our B value here is going to be where we add them, 27 plus 15. That's going to give us 42. So now we know our answer is going to be 12 must be less than x, which is less than 42. So we want to see which ones will fall into this category. 12 does not because it's not equal to. 34 does. Let's see, 29 is bigger than 12 but less than 42. 18 is bigger. And 43 is outside the range, so those are our only three. So let's try this next one. So let you guys try this one and see how you do. All right, so hopefully you're able to find that these two are the correct ones, 47 and 39. So the way this works is we're going to do, once again, A is going to be 45 minus 9, and B is equal to 45 plus 9. So 45 minus 9 is 36, and 45 plus 9 is 54. So we say that 36 is less than x, which is less than 54. So the ones that would fill this would be 47 and 39. 35 is too low, 58 is too high, 47 is in there, 54 is equal to, which is not going to be it, and 39 is in the little slot here, is for x. All right, so now once we got the triangle inequality down, let's take a look here at ordering angles. Okay, so the angle of a triangle can be ordered by comparing the sides. So the smallest angle is always opposite the shortest side. The largest angle is always across from the longest side. So there's a relationship between the sides of the triangles based on the longest, the shortest, and the middle. So let's look over here. We're going to order these angles in order from least to greatest. So this is one thing you're going to have to do, is be able to determine which angle is across from which side. So my smallest side is 7, which means my angle across from it, which in this case would be A, if you point across here. So angle A is my smallest, followed by the angle across from side 10, which means it's going to be C, so angle C, which leaves us with angle B. So we got angle A, angle C, and angle B. So now when we're looking at ordering the sides of a triangle have been ordered by comparing the angles. Shortest side across from is across, or say opposite, okay, the smallest angle. Okay, the longest side is opposite the longest angle, or I should say the largest. Let's just erase that. All right, so we get the smallest angle and the largest angle. So let's order these by their sides. So let's look here. We got 42, 103. We need to know what angle F is. So we can find that by doing 180 minus the sum of 42 plus 103. Okay, that's going to give us 145. And therefore 180, oops. So 180 minus 145 is going to be our third angle here, which is going to be, what, 35 degrees? Okay. Now, the next step here is going to be to put them in order here. So if this is 35, that means the side across from it is the smallest. So if you look over here, smallest angle, smallest side across. So that's going to be ED. Next one's going to be across from 42, which is DF. And then the last one here across from angle D is going to be EF. And there we go. So we got all three of these. Okay, DE, DF, and EF. So now let's order these angles from least to greatest. And make sure you're always paying attention to how they ask you to put these in order. Okay, so order the angles, which means that this is going to be angle 1. And since my next one will be angle 2, and then this will be angle 3. You can also do 1, 2, and 3 here. It kind of looks pretty easy to do. So order angles from least to greatest. So our smallest angle is going to be angle M, then angle P, and then angle N. Same thing over here. Smallest side is across from the smallest angle, which means this has got to be the smallest. And then the next is 35, so that means R has to be 35, and therefore S has to be 38. So we're going to order these angles from, once again, least to greatest. So I'm going to start with angle 1, so angle T, angle R, and angle S. So that's the correct order here. All right, so let's do another one. So let's order these angles from greatest to least. So once again, we look to see which smallest side. That means this is angle 1. Angle B would have to be angle 2, and then C would be angle 3. So order these angles from greatest to least. Okay, that's just going backwards here. So last time we went least to greatest, this is greatest to least. So our greatest angle is going to be angle C, followed by angle B and angle D. All right, so let's move on to number 4. Once again, ordering the angles here from greatest to least. And so that means we're looking for our largest here, so which is going to be our X. Middle is going to be W. Whoops, too many arcs. And then this one's going to be our smallest here. So from greatest to least, greatest is going to be angle X, followed by the next one here, which is going to be angle W. And then last but not least, we have angle Y. All right, so let's jump down to number 5. So before we can do our sides, we need to find this last angle. So we're going to do 180 minus the sum of 31 plus 57. Okay, that's going to be 88, so 180 minus 88. Which is going to give us 92. So this angle will be 92 degrees. So order these sides from the least to smallest. So our first side here would be across from 31. So there's side 1, that's going to be KL. Whoops, not a comma. So the next one here would be the one across from 57, which is going to be JK. And the last one here is going to be across from angle K, which is JL. So we have KL, JL, JK, and JL. All right, let's look at number 7 and 8. Okay, so these are ordering from the sides from greatest to least. So once again, we need to find this last side here. So we're going to do 180 minus the sum of 82 plus 54. So 82 plus 54 is going to give us 136. And now we're going to subtract that number minus 180, which is going to give us 62. So this is 62 degrees, which is our middle. So our smallest is going to be YZ. Then we're going to go to XY. And then finally, XZ. All right, so you guys try this last one here. See if you can get this. All right, so first thing we need to do is we need to find our third angle. So we can do 90 minus 44, which should give us 46. And then it's a matter of finding our sides from greatest to least. Okay? So, in fact, this last one here, I went from smallest to least. So let's mark through that real quick. And so that means it's going to go from X to Z, from X to Y, which was correct either way, and then Y to Z. So that should be the correct order. So now this one here, we know that we're looking from greatest to least, so our greatest is going to be BE. It's the one across from the 90. So we're going to have BE. Next greatest is going to be the one across from the middle angle, which is going to be angle 46. So the side across is BD, so this is BD. And then our last one here would have to be the segment here across from 44, which is going to be DE. Now let's look at some more triangle inequalities, but now we're going to involve algebra. So one thing to watch out for, it says watch out for the flippers. So that, remember, anytime you multiply through through the other side by a negative, or a lot of times we think of it as dividing by a negative number, we have to switch to inequality. So let's take a look here. It doesn't happen all the time, but occasionally it does. So let's solve for our x here. So we have the inequality here, and it's 5x minus 18 is greater than 2x plus 3. So we're going to start by subtracting 2x from both sides. This is going to give us 3x. Now we want to move the 18 by adding it to the other side. So nothing changes when we add or subtract. So bring down the inequality here, and we get a positive 3, positive 18 is 21. Divide by 3. We're not dividing by any negatives here, so this means that it stays the same. So we get x is going to be greater than 7. Okay, so let's try this one here. Notice this. As we do this one here, we're going to bring the 8x over here to the right, so we're going to subtract 8x. So nothing changes here. This gives me 2x. Now, since I brought the x's to the right, I want to bring the 15 to the left, so I'm going to add 15 to both sides. That gives me 22 is greater than x. So, divide by 2. X, whoops, not equal to. X is going to be less than 11. So, this can be read like this, or you could swap it here to be x to be less than 11. It doesn't matter which side you bring it to. Now, if we had brought this x to the other side, so just kind of show you what might happen. You don't have to write this down, but you can if you want. 10x minus 15. If I would have brought my 10x over, so if I subtracted 10x, okay, this is going to give me a negative 2x, which means I got to subtract 7. Okay, bring down the greater than sign. This gives me a negative 22. So when I divide by negative 2 here, okay, this becomes now x is going to, we have to flip this sign. So this inequality flips around, this becomes a positive 11. So we divide it by a negative number. So we get the same result. In this right here, these all three are the same. They're just one, you have to flip the inequality if you ever divide by a negative. So let's look at number 5 here. We're going to skip around. We're not doing all of them here. So if the sides of a triangle have the following lengths, find all the possible values for x. So now we don't know which one is our small sides. Okay. So one thing we know is we have the two smaller sides have to be larger than the third side. So let's try. We're going to try a couple things here. We're going to do 3 situations. We're going to go see if AB plus BC is going to be greater than AC. And then we're also going to try the next one. We're going to try to see if possibly AB plus AC is greater than BC. And our last one here, we're going to see here, the last combination here, we're going to see is AC plus BC greater than AB. So that's what we're going to check here. So we have to do all 3 of these in order to figure out which one of these is our possible values for x. So let's plug in our expressions. So 4x plus 25 plus 3x minus 2 greater than 9x minus 5. So let's combine everything on the left. So 4 and 3 give me 7x. And then 25 minus 2 is going to be 23. And we got 9x minus 5. So I'm going to bring 7x over by subtracting. And then we're going to get, I'm going to add the 5. So this becomes 2x. Add 5 to both sides, it gives me 28. So divide by 2. And that gives me x is going to be less than 14. If you want to write it the other way, you can write x less than 14. So it both means the same thing. So let's check the next one out here. Okay. We're going to get AB, which is 4x plus 25, plus AC, which is 9x minus 5. So is it greater than BC, which is going to be 3x minus 2? Gives me 13x. 25 minus 5 is 20. Bring down the 3x minus 2. So now I'm going to bring the 3x over by subtracting 3x. So 10x is what we get. We're going to subtract 20. So we get 10x is equal to negative 22. And we divide by 10. X is going to be a negative 2.2. So we know that we cannot have a negative, we can have a negative number, we can't have a negative side length. Okay. So if you plugged one of these in, it would give us a negative side length. So if you plugged it into BC, you'd have 3 times the negative 2.2. Okay, and then we'd add, then we subtract 2 from it. That would give us a negative number here. So that means this one is not going to work. That was not a possibility. And then we come to our last one here. AC is 9x minus 5. BC is 3x minus 2. And we're trying to see, find the value of x here with the last part AB, 4x plus 25. So begin by combining like terms. That gives us 9 and 3 is 12x. Negative 5, negative 2 is negative 7. 4x plus 25. So we're going to subtract 4x. Gives me 8x. We're going to add 7. And so 25 and 7 gives me 32. Divide by 8. X is going to be greater than 4. So these two right here would give us possible solutions. So what are our range of values here? Well, they're going to range from 4 greater than x, which is going to be greater than 14. All right, so now let's go here. List the sides of the triangle in order from least to greatest. Okay, we get these three sides, 2x plus 6, we get 10x minus 11, and L is going to be 3x minus 10. Okay, so in order to find this, okay, we got sides. So these are our angle measures, so we have to find x first. So we can decide which one is going to be bigger. So what you can do here is you can kind of draw yourself a picture. Doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, so we're going to have it J, K, and L. Now one thing we know about our angles is they all add up to be equal to 180. So we can start here and do angle J plus angle K plus angle L and add them up, set them equal to 180. So we'd have 2x plus 6 plus 10x minus 11 plus 3x minus 10 equals 180. So combine our x's, we got 2 and 10 is 12, 12 and 3 is 15. So we get 15x. We have 6 minus 11 is a negative 5, and negative 5 and negative 10 is a negative 15, equal to 180. Add 15. 15x is equal to 195. And we're going to divide that by 15. That's going to give us 13. So x is equal to 13. So now we need to go back and plug these in. So the first angle here, angle J, is equal to 2 times 13 plus 6. That's 26 plus 6, which is 32. So J is 32. Okay, angle K is equal to 10 times 13 minus 11. That's going to be 130 minus 11, which is going to be 119. So this over here would be 119. And then the last angle here is going to be angle L, which we know angle L is equal to 3 times 13 minus 10. 39 minus 10 is going to be 29. All right, so it says from least to greatest, so smallest side. Well, that's going to be across from the smallest angle, which means JK, so small. Middle, and the longest. Okay, so we have angle, or excuse me, not angle. We have side JK. Middle is going to be side KL. The last one is JL. And that's the correct order. JL, KL, and excuse me, JK, KL, and JL. So we got a couple more left here. Let's take a look at the next one here. Now we're going to order from least to greatest. Okay, so once again, you may want to draw your picture here so you know what you're looking at. Okay, we got B, C, and D. So we know we add them all up, set them equal to 180. So we're going to get 10x minus 28 plus 6x minus 1 plus 8x minus 7 equal to 180. So 10 and 6 is 16. 16 and 8 is going to be 24x. And now we get a minus 28. Minus 1 is negative 29. And negative 29 minus 7 is going to be a negative 36 equals 180. So we're going to start by adding 36. So 24x is equal to 216. Now we're going to divide by 24. And 216 divided by 24 is equal to 9. So x is 9, so we're going to back and plug this in. We got angle B equal to 10 times 9 minus 28. That's going to be 90 minus 28. That's going to give me 62. So angle B is 62. Next one here, I'm going to get angle C, which is going to be 6 times 9 minus 1. Okay, that's going to be 6 times 9 is going to give us 54. Minus 1 is going to give us 53. So C is 53. And then you could always add these up, subtract from 180, or just calculate the last value given equation for D. So angle D is equal to 8 times 9 minus 7. So we know 8 times 9 is 72. Minus 7 here. It's going to give us 65. So 65 goes here. Once again, least to greatest, which means smallest side is going to be here. Middle side is going to be here, and the longest side is here. So we're listing the sides again. So small is going to be BD. Okay, followed by CD and BC. And now we go to number 10. So try this one. We're going to go from least to greatest again. We've got, this one gives us we're going to list the angles, and they've given us the sides. Now, in order to have the sides, we need a perimeter or something to add up to, which they gave us this as well. So this means that when we add these up, this means RS plus ST plus RT is equal to the perimeter, which in this case is 78. So RS is 5x plus 7 plus 9x minus 16 plus 2x plus 23 is equal to 78. So add your x's up. So we got 5 and 2 and 9. That's going to be 7 and 9, which is going to give me 16x. Then I have 7 minus 16 plus 23. We're going to add those together, get 14. So plus 14 equals to 78. Subtract 14. So that gives us 64 is equal to 16x by 16. X is equal to 4. Now, the next step, we've got this, and now we need to plug it back in. Okay, so we're going to get, so one way to do this here, this kind of helps you see, draw your picture here. Okay, so we have our triangle RST. So now we can kind of fill this in. So when we plug this back in, we're going to get RS 5 times 4 plus 7, that's 27. Okay, so RS is 27. ST, 9 times 4 minus 16. That's 36 minus 16 gives me 20, so side ST is 20. And then we have RT, 2 times 4 plus 23, 8 plus 23, that's going to be 31. So 31 goes over here. Now we can name our angles from least to greatest here. So the smallest angles across from the smallest side. So that's going to be, smallest side is 20. That means that angle R is going to be angle 1. Middle is going to be 27. That's going to be angle 2. And our largest is going to be S. We're going to call this angle 3. Small, medium, large here. So that means it's going to go angle R, angle T, and then angle S. And that's the order from least to greatest of our angles. So this concludes our lesson on triangle inequality and also triangle inequality with algebra.